Hey guys, NS Productions 8104 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the all-new Bachmann J3a Hudson. Like I said, this is all new, tooling and everything. They've never done this besides an N scale, but this is the first time in HO scale, and it comes equipped with TCS WOW sound. So, right out of the box, it's already a great looking model, plus then you get a great quality decoder in there. You got a very nice engine. Now, I paid $289.99 from Train World on pre-order for this guy, which for less than $300 for a steam engine like this, not very bad at all. So obviously we'll start out with the obvious. So you got a working headlight here. You got your Bachmann Easy Mate couplers here. Let's go in a little closer. So you can see you got your little shields here in front of your cross compound compressors. You got your essential shield right below the headlight with the little numbers along the side of the headlight and below. Move to the side here. You got your inbuilt water your water injector, or I don't know. It's either a water injector or a boiler, feed water heater, one of the two. You got your stack here, your bell, you got your whistle. I think, yeah, that's the whistle there. These are separately applied parts. You got separately applied wire grab irons going down the entire length of the body. You got more separately applied piping here. It looks amazing. Then, you got your cast-in stuff. But there's a good mixture of cast-in and separately applied detail here that make this model look pretty dang good. You guys can hear, there's the compressor, the cross compound compressor's going off. Then get down to your valve gear here. You got nice black and metal parts. All this valve gear looks amazing. Blackened tires and everything. You got blackened wheels. You actually got painted wheels, but with blackened rims, so they don't look too bad. On camera they show up a little bit more than they do in person, but they're a lot more hidden in person. Painted, let me get this right. Hear this right. Painted axle caps. The axles are painted. Now you can go out and spend $700 on a BLI Big Boy, and those aren't painted, and nor the pilot wheels or trailing wheels blackened. So there's that. So already this is already looking good. Now, like I said, I paid $284.99. Which, this is not bad for a $300 less engine. I mean, it's great. It sounds great, as you guys heard. It runs great. And, best part, the whole boiler is die-cast metal. The whole boiler is die-cast metal. You got separately applied pieces everywhere over this thing. You got plenty of molded-in details. But it doesn't look that bad. It runs good, it sounds good, and it looks good. It's got all three. The one thing I do wish is that Bachmann would stop using their Easy Mates and go to KDs. Please. No one likes plastic couplers. You and Bachmann and Athearn are the only ones who still use plastic couplers on their high-end models. Or even on their models in general. Scale trains, their models come with die-cast couplers right out of the box as long as they're rivet counter. And then, most other manufacturers either have KDs or metal knuckle couplers at least, like Athearn, not Athearn, but with Walters with their Proto Max. But anyway, so back down to the pilot, you got your separately applied Cutler cup lever, which can actually lift up. On this side, you can see there's a little deflector off to the cab. There was one here. I will say this engine has had an accident. It has fallen off the railroad. And I will give you a warning. If this engine falls and this twists that drawbar, you're losing your pin. The pin is plastic. The pin that connects the engine and tender is completely plastic. Mine broke when it fell, so did this deflector came off. I want to actually try to find that. But anyway, the pin is plastic. I put in a metal screw and it runs a heck... It's not original. I want to keep this thing as much as original as possible. But anyway, keep that in mind. If this thing takes a tumble off a railroad, you're more than likely going to either have to send this into Bachmann for repairs or figure out a way to put in a new pin. Now, let's go to the tender. Okay, so we're done with the engine here. Let's go to the tender. I do want to add, the cab's not the greatest, but yet again, it's not a very expensive well, expensive in terms of steam. One of the old Broadways would run about $300 nowadays, especially for this kind of detail. So let's go to the tender here. You know, you got your nice coal load, New York Central lettering. It looks great. It's sharp. Got more molded on details, trucks, which do pick up power. So the power pickups on this engine are the tender trucks and the drivers. The pilot truck and the trailing truck do not pick up power. It's got a working rear headlight, simply applied ladder, simply applied grab irons on the side, more along the top. Got more detailing here. Underneath, you do have the detailed scoop. You got more brake. You got some brake detailing down there. On the rear, you know, you got your plastic Easy Mate coupler. Yeah, again, you got the road number here. I got the 5438. Right there, you got your engine designation right underneath the number. Overall, this is not a very bad engine for the price point. It runs great, sounds great, and actually can pull. Even though it has no traction tires, it can pull. So we actually got a nice size consist here for it to pull today. I think, what is that? 7 cars? So it's a nice size consist. It does pull this pretty easily. I will say, this headlight looks very dim, but I'm telling you right now, it is actually very bright. I've actually opened up this engine. They did this pretty smart. So right behind the front of the boiler here is the metal chunk of weight. And I mean literally, it's just the whole boiler is filled with weight on top of the boiler and top of the shell being all metal. This thing is a chunk. It is a chunker. But they mounted an SMD to a board right directly level with the headlight and extended the light piping directly to it. So you got a nice bright LED, and I mean bright. This thing will light up the track where it needs to go. And like I said, this thing is all just weight inside this. The tender is very light, though. That's the one drawback I gotta say, is the tender is very light. I wish they would have made it out of die cast as well. The tender would feel a lot more secure to the rails than what it does. It is weighted nicely, but again, it's plastic with metal and metal. I did open up the bottom side of the drive to see what it looks like. It's your typical Bachmann drive. There's no bearings on the axles or anything like that. It's exactly what you would find on your high-end models. But it does run pretty smooth. We'll do speed step 1 here. As you can see, it is very smooth for no bearings, and for a Bachmann drive, it is like incredibly smooth. Let's mute the sound for a minute. You just do get that iconic Bachmann hum. It's just the motors they have. But considering the fact how much weight that one little motor is moving, it's really impressive on how smooth that runs. So I have noticed that for some reason the gauge, the drive will kick out at these lower speeds. I don't know whether it was something loose, but I will say this: my plate here on the bottom was very loose when I bought it, so I did have to tighten up the screws, and it did seem to work better. As you can see, this thing, it's not bad. Let's go to the reversing light. Let's check out that. Nice and bright. It looks good. I will highly recommend this model for any modeler who likes a New York Central. Like, this is a very nice model that Bachmann has came out with here. And as you can see, it's very smooth at running. But, and again, once you add this in addition to the nice running drive and everything, you got this nice, loud TCS wow sound decoder in it. This is a really nice model. Bachmann did a very good job. Now, I want them to do what they did to this engine to maybe their Berks. Redo their Berks with die-cast metal boilers and give them a nice spruce with the TCS Wow Sound decoder. Those would be awesome. But this is a very nice model. I can't stop saying it. It is. It looks good, sounds good. So enough with me blabbering. Let's get into some of the functions here. So obviously we'll start off with the bell. Here's the whistle. I love that whistle, by the way. Then 4 is cylinder cocks. No, 4 is blowdown. There's the blowdown. Obviously, you get a nice chuff as it goes. And it is accurate. It is 4 chuffs per revolution. Almost right on the money at 90. I think this does have Rule 17 lighting, if I'm... No, it does not. But, anyway, enough with me blabbing. You saw the functions. Let's watch this thing do some hot laps around the railroad. We'll really put this thing through its paces. We'll let it run it wide open. So, stay tuned for the next part.